So what's the fascination? What's the go with Fortnite? I think I'm the only guy on planet Earth that hasn't played Fortnite.
Um, well, I'm not gonna lie to you. The only reason I downloaded it to start with is because it was free. So
Oh,
let
it's
me start by
free.
saying that. Yeah, it's a free game, free to play. I mean, you can buy like stuff in game that like enhances the experience, but it's free to play. So, but I mean, it's you ever seen the Hunger Games, like the movie?
Yeah, yeah. My girlfriend dragged me to
It's
the Hunger Games.
it's literally the Hunger Games, basically. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
hundred people. You got a you got like a squads mode, which is four person teams. You got a duos mode, which is two-person teams, and then like you can play solo, so on your own.
It seems like the entire planet is playing it at the moment.
Oh, it's you gotta try it. I don't know if you game heavily, but if you game at all, I'm not. The only game I ever play is 2K. So, and I mean, I haven't really played 2K a lot because Fortnite's been taking over my 2K time. So, but it's enjoyable.
I've watched Player Unknown Battleground. I've watched that on Twitch a few times.
PUBG, yeah.
Yeah, that seems pretty
It's
cool.
like PUBG, but it's more action paced. Like PUBG's a lot of camping. It's a lot of like hiding. This is more
Survival.
like yeah, PUBG's like the hide everybody, like camp type thing. This is more like everybody's rushing each other, more action paced.
Interesting.
It's the Green Release NBA2K podcast.
Have you ever used 2klab.com?
Yeah, I'm actually on 2K Lab.
That's excellent because today's episode is brought to you by NBA2klab.com. 2K Lab are an analytics-based company that help you get the most out of your 2K game. They have advanced metrics on all things related to your player, from strength, rebounding, and wingspan, just to name a few. And 2K Lab do their best to update after every patch, so you know you're getting the right information. What I like about it though is just finding the right jump shot, making sure my jump shot's not broken, and I like a fairly quick jump shot, so trying to find a nice green window is imperative for me. What do you like about it, Choc?
Um, like you said, I think the jump shot's the best thing. Especially with the way 2K does patches. They definitely don't say, that they're nerfing jumpers and that, jumpers are getting broken. And the thing that 2K Labs does is they've kind of, edged set the bridge for us, that we don't have to do all the testing. They kind of do the dirty work for us and we just get to sit back and enjoy the game. So for me, when I get on the game, I don't want to sit around and try to find a jump shot. So, they've helped it to where, people like me can just get on and get right into the action. So I definitely appreciate that.
And get big greens.
Yeah, nothing but them. No whites. No whites.
If you use NBA2klab.com, use my referral code GREEN at checkout, and it just lets them know you come from me, so I can keep doing this fantastic podcast for free. All
Yes. Go green.
All right. Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Green Release NBA2K podcast. Today we're catching up with a friend of the show, Oklahoma's finest JUCO point guard, a top 3 2K scene periscoper.
Yes.
White
No
chocolate, how
question
are you,
asked.
sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, good. How's Oklahoma?
I'm not gonna lie to you. The weather right now is it's pretty bad. It's been real rainy, definitely floody. But I'm getting through it. Getting through it.
Flooding.
Yeah. I think we're on a little bit of a lower ground. So I mean it rained for
Uh,
like 4 days straight. So it was definitely floody and I didn't bring a lot of, rain clothes. So I'm wearing slides and floods. So I don't know. Not a good look.
no good. No good at all. How's your season going with the college hoops?
It's good. We are 20-8 or 21-8 or something good. We have a pretty good record. We're on like a 6 game win streak.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we got two more games left, and then we will be in playoffs.
So how many games is the season?
28 or 30 or something like that. Something, I
Okay.
think it's 30. And
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, there's the regional tournament and then the national tournament. And I mean, so I mean, we have to win the regional tournament to get to the national tournament, but there's potentially, 8, 9, 10 more games if we can win out like we're supposed to.
Yeah. So then the national tournament is like all the 2 year colleges
Yeah, all the
go to it.
best colleges from each conference. So like we're in like the I think it's the OAC. It's like something with Ohio, like not Ohio, but Oklahoma. Uh, it's like that area. So we play mostly Oklahoma teams, and then like every state, I'm pretty sure has their own conference. So it's like the best teams from each conference match up. So it'd be pretty exciting.
Who's the best JUCO conference?
That I'm not 100% sure with. I know we're in a very tough one. We have three teams on the verge of top 25. So
Nice. Oh, well, good luck with
yeah,
that.
appreciate
And
it.
what's the go with Periscope? You've been doing a lot of them lately. How'd you stumble upon that? Do you like
Um,
doing them?
Periscopes, yeah, it's definitely a way for me to get in touch with, people that are following me. I started Periscoping a long time ago. And I definitely got the idea from Famous. I watched Famous do Periscopes and interact with people, and I definitely liked what he was doing with it. And I figured, I could hop on there and do the same thing. And in a sense, I've built a pretty solid fan base on that. It's been good. It's just a kind of a way to talk about what's going on and just put my insight out there and kind of keep the community going.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how it's instant. So with this
Yeah,
thing, I have to
exactly.
go. Yeah, I have to go and edit them or whatever and upload them to iTunes. But Periscope, you just open your phone and you're away. I might do one soon, actually.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique little app, and especially since like a lot of people have my notifications on and stuff. We get a pretty good amount of viewers pretty quick. So
Yeah, you're blowing up on Periscope.
yeah, I'm low key, low key, low key.
uh, so what pro am team are you on now?
Right now I'm not currently on a team. Pro-Am itself after the combine has kind of died.
It's dead.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dead game mode in a sense, and I'm not gonna say that there's not people playing it, but it's really kind of died out. It's everybody's kind of hit that point, and it's the
Yeah,
same
why
thing
is
that's happened last year and the year before that. So,
that? Okay, you don't think it's burnout after the combine?
I definitely, the combine was definitely a burnout. And I mean now it's kind of like everybody's kind of waiting to see. Everybody's still sitting around hoping that they're getting drafted. So, everybody's kind of just playing that waiting game. And I mean, once people see whether or not they're getting drafted, I'm sure uh, Pro-Am will kind of liven back up a little bit. But, the only thing that's really keeping the mode alive right now in this dead period is the MPBA tournaments and the WR tournaments and, things like that. But, once those end, those aren't just nonstop. Like we're at a dead point. MPBA just ended. So, I mean, there's nothing really going on. There's no incentive for these like top players to want to play each other.
Yeah. Well, actually, let's get to the combine now. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. There's a
I
lot you can talk about with that one.
Yeah. So we'll start with your periscopes from the start of the combine. I went into a few of them. They were very, very interesting viewing. You were playing point guard at the time. Do you want to
Yeah,
start there and just tell me what the hell happened?
I'm sure. I think you're talking about the one where I was just talking about like I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And you were saying how you just didn't know where to go from here because people were clogging the paint on you.
Yeah,
People couldn't make a shot so your assists weren't there.
yeah. Well. Here's the thing. When I started the combine, I kind of started the combine like everybody else started the combine. I was just playing to win. You know what I'm saying? And then, you kind of go on Twitter and you're looking around and you're seeing these dudes posting these screenshots with these numbers. And it's like, man, this guy's, winning and he has crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting back looking at me. Not that my numbers were bad, but I mean, shoot, there were games. There was a game, like my second game of the combine, I had 4 points and like 19 assists. And it's like, I wasn't really, when I first went into the combine, I knew everybody was going to be trying to score So my goal was to be like, hey, I'm going to stand out. I'm going to try to lead the combine in assists. But what I didn't really understand was, how bad people could actually be. And, you don't realize how big of a drop off there is until, you play something like that. I mean, when it was, whether it was pure sharps just missing wide open or, people clogging the paint, but they don't want to go score it. I mean, it was really a headache in a sense. And I mean, trying to be the point guard and, you know, the shooting was kind of broke. So as a point guard, it wasn't until the end until people really started, people found a jump shot that worked. But it's like, for me, I was, nervous because it's like, here I am putting up, I had good numbers, but just compared to some of these guys had great numbers. And it was more stressful than anything. I don't think that I never had a point where my combine was going terrible because I was winning the entire time. But, it was just mentally taxing. It wasn't like your average pro-am game. Those games were genuinely tough to get through.
Yeah, I understand. I only played about 4 combine games because I wasn't going to get drafted. I'm terrible, but four combine games did it for me. That was enough. I literally had enough. It was so bad playing with some people.
So imagine playing 90 of them.
Yeah, and trying to get drafted.
Right.
I can only imagine. So you started out point guard. The periscopes were interesting. Did you keep persevering with the point? Did you get your 40 in at point guard? Keep going?
I did. I ended up playing about 46 at point guard, and I ended up with about, I think it was 19 points per game and 14 assists, which I had to lose some assist numbers to get the points per game up. I was averaging around 16 assists, I think it was. I was averaging like 14 and 16. But, a lot of people were putting up so much points that I felt like, that's where I had to recover in a sense. So I ended at about 19 and 14 through 46.
How was that did you compare that to the 2K lab database
2K
at point guard?
Overall, efficiency wise, I mean, overall on the lab score, I was like 28th or something like that. So, I mean, it wasn't, anywhere where I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like something to be proud of, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, and you end up going over to shooting guard in the combine?
Yeah, and that was probably the best move I ever made.
What was your mindset going into that?
I was looking at okay, first off, as the point guard, what I noticed was that the worst players on my team were always the shooting guard. I never once played with a good shooting guard. I never got to feed my shooting guard or get my shooting guard going because there wasn't any good ones. And I remember people were really hyping Slay's numbers. Slay was averaging 27, I think it was. So when I went to shooting guard, I didn't come in with the mindset that I was going to get 40 games. And I kind of just wanted to try it since I was done with my point guard games, because point guard was just, first off, the wait times were terrible. And then just the mental taxation of it was too much. So when I hopped onto the shooting guard, the first game I had 50 points.
Yeah.
And, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my stats, and you look at 19 and 14, and then one game played 50 points. So I'm sitting there like, man, I could really do something crazy at this position. And that's when I decided that I was going to pursue getting 40 games. And it was late in the game. It wasn't like there was a ton of time left. I was like, you know what? I didn't want to have any regrets. I didn't want to come back and be like, man, if only I would have played 40 games at shooting guard, who knows what would have happened. So I decided I was just going to leave it all out there and give it a shot.
But then was that before the announcement of the extra windows? So you would have got him in on?
No, it was it was kind of during the announcement of the extra windows.
Yeah.
But the thing was, there was nights. I mean, I stayed up till 5:30 in the morning, and I had class at 9. One of the nights, just because I was trying to get them in. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a ton of time, and when you're on a college basketball schedule, you don't know exactly how it's going to go day to day with classes and homework and stuff. So I wanted to make sure that I got them all in. So
yeah, that would have been stressful. When did you get your sleep in?
I don't. Kind of learned to cope without sleeping. So
wow. Uh, all right. So, how did the combine end up? Are you happy with where you're at shooting guard? Obviously.
Oh yeah. On 2K Labs efficiency wise, I was number one overall. I ended up averaging 41.1, shooting 69% or something like that, 68%. And overall, I couldn't have been any happier with how it ended. I mean, there were so many trolls and people who would get mad that I was scoring and different things like that. And to be putting up the numbers that I put up and still winning, was definitely exciting for me. And it was definitely cool because keeping that 40 points per game average kind of came down to like the last day, and it was kind of like almost like a challenge I wanted to get because there was no other shooting guard that could say I averaged 40 points. So
What was the top? I mean, I must admit, I've only glanced at the 2K Labs database. What was the top points per game you've seen? Yours would have been up there, surely.
yeah, I think I'm top three or something, top two maybe.
Wow.
I've only seen one other person averaging 40, and that was at the center position, and that's Jay Money. He was
Okay.
averaging 43.5,
Wow.
but at the center position,
Clogging up the
they
paint.
they're kind of getting the ball. There was games where I'm having dudes tell me, you're 6'6", stay out of the lane, stop cutting so much, different stuff like that. And I mean, to put up 41.1 on that kind of build, playing with nothing but random point guards, I just thought was pretty cool.
Did you get any good point guards along the way?
I
Couple.
think I got two or three good point guards. I played with Kenny, one game, and that game I actually played with Champ too, which was pretty cool. And then I played with Vandy one game, so that was kind of cool too. It's kind of like, hey, I played with one of my former point guards, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes the world of difference when you
Oh
get
yeah,
a capable point guard. It's night and day.
oh yeah, there's no question.
So the combine itself was how they did it was interesting.
For
What
sure.
would you what would you change about it if you could
Um,
start at the
you
start?
know,
Yeah.
you mean what would I change about the combine itself or my performance?
No, if you were in charge of the 2K League, Jock.
Okay. If I was in charge, the first thing I would do was, especially for next year, I would make the leaderboards mean something. I think you need an incentive for people to want to play the mode. And since the leaderboards don't really mean anything, there's no, push to be that number one team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you hit number one, it's a cool screenshot, but there's nothing that, there's no reward for it in a sense. You know what I mean? So what I think they should do for next year is I think they should take the top 100 or top 50 teams on the leaderboards and take those players and have a more organized combine. Because I think that would really show, who's the best. And I mean, there's going to be the people out there that say it's not fair because I can't get on a good team. It's not this, it's not that. And to that, I say, if you're really as good as you say you are, you can get four people and get to top 50. Top 50 is not that hard to do. There's really not 50 great teams out there. So, but I just think overall that would be a more controlled atmosphere and just more people playing, you know, for with it meaning something. There were several games where I had people that just, were throwing the game on purpose, launching full court shots, rolling
That's
the ball in,
terrible.
different stuff like that. So it's like, those types of guys, they're not really trying to get drafted, and that's what messes it up for everybody else. So,
Yeah, to your point, and it's a bit of a weird point, but LeBron James carried all them bad Cavaliers teams to
right,
multiple finals.
right.
He just had four cones around him at some point, except for Kyrie Irving, but at some points.
Right. But the thing is, and they didn't win, but the thing is, they got him. He got him there. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's
Yeah.
LeBron. You're gonna get recognized. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to win an NPBA title for your talents to be recognized. And I think that's a big misconception is that people feel like that all these established names are just you can't you can't make a name for yourself, and that's so far from the truth. There's so much opportunity out there for you to go on and make a name for yourself. There's so many players this year that were nobodies last year, including myself, that really made a name for themselves this year and are considered top players now.
How did you make a name for yourself? How
Um,
did you come up?
you know, I I started last year. I was a spot up sharp for the majority of the year, and then I decided to make my own team. I'm not gonna lie to you, we weren't very good. We definitely took a lot of butt whoopings. But I just remember, we made the playoffs in MPBA, and that was a big deal for us. It was like our first MPBA season, and we made the playoffs. And I mean, we got first rounded, but I mean, that was just a big deal. And I remember after that, we had beaten a lot of good teams, and there was a lot of my name started getting a little bit of buzz because there was games where I was going for 30, 40 last year, and going for 40 last year isn't like going for 40 this year.
How so?
Anybody can drop 40
How
this
so?
year. Last year, it was defense was so much better. And I remember the first person that ever put me on their top point guard list was Reese. And I'll never forget that because
Yep.
I kind of looked at Reese like, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy is acknowledging, that I'm doing something, that I'm coming up, you know what I'm saying? And that was just kind of like motivation for me to want to, push forward this year. And that's when we started Team United, and we were the first 100 team on Xbox. And, that was all she wrote. Once I hopped on the 6'10" point forward and, started going for
That's
40
the
night in and
wave.
night out, that's when everything changed.
Did you go against Reese? What? How did he know you?
Uh, no, I never and that's the craziest part. I never played versus him. I definitely knew who he was. Everybody knows who Reese is.
Yeah.
And I wasn't honestly sure how he knew me. And I think that was the coolest part was just knowing that, I've never played this guy and yet he still knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't had the opportunity to match up with him, yet I've done enough at this point for my name to be getting passed through the grapevines as one of the guys coming up. So
That's very cool. You said scoring 40 last year is not like scoring 40 this year. What exactly do you mean by that? Can you break that down?
yeah, last year defense was so much better. You could play man to man defense last year. This year's all about team defense. Last year you could leave a lockdown on an island. When that grand badge lit up, as a point guard, you had to get
Oh
rid of the
yeah,
ball.
yeah,
And I mean, there was no blow by animations, there was no snatchbacks, so when you went for 40, you went for a legitimate 40. And, this year, dudes can blow by snatchback green almost every time. So it's like, you're not really looking at a 40 this year. And you've seen people that didn't do anything last year who will have a 40 ball this year. And that's what I think the difference is. I think uh, defense was bad this year, which I do think that they made a major improvement on that in the combine. The combine defense was actually very good.
yeah. Those grand badges were crazy. I forgot all about them. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, especially when a lockdown had his grand badge, you knew, you had to be careful because if he got a clean reach on you, it was going the other way. So,
I just have a philosophical question I've been asking people and thinking about with the draft. So it's only going to be 102 people in the draft pool, which is its own little
crazy.
thing. It's
Yeah.
its own little thing. Like anyway, I probably would have had more, but what do I know? But
Right.
if you were in charge of a team, Chalk, any team, what would be your draft strategy? Like, I mean, are you going a point guard first, or are you going to try something different?
Well, the thing to me is, it's all based on who makes the pool. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's going to be a lot of known players in the pool, a lot of randoms in the pool, exactly what it's going to be. Um, But if I'm a team and if it's a mixed bag between players I've never heard of and these guys that I know, as a manager I've seen screenshots, I've seen them play MPBA, I'm gonna go with the first thing I'm gonna focus on is getting a player that has the comp experience. Um, but I mean, if it was to be all top players, what I'm saying, if it was to be 102 of the top players, that we know as top players, not just combine statistics. Um, I mean, when I drafted my team in the mock draft, I took Ramo, and the reason I took Ramo is I felt like Ramo was one of the most versatile players out there. Period. I feel like I could put Ramo on a 3-4-5,
Yeah.
and he would be effective. So that's one of the things that looks out for me is that I feel like if you get somebody that's versatile, and a lot of the point guards are versatile, if you get somebody that's versatile, you're able to make the adjustments that you have to make, and a versatile point guard can complete any team.
How far do you think versatility goes? So you play point guard and a bit of off guard.
Yeah.
You'd have no troubles playing center? You think you could adapt?
I think I'd easily adapt. I think one thing about point guards is they have the most sticks. I think they have the most stick skills on the game. You know what I'm saying? They have the most IQ. They're always reading things. They're always, doing this, that. And as a point guard, I think how other point guards think. So if I'm a center and I'm matched up against a point guard, as a point guard, I'm going to know his tendencies more than I think a center would. So, I mean, would it be an adjustment? Of course. You know what I'm saying? You're going from, I don't know, 6'5", 185 to 7'3", 340.
Yeah.
Of course it's an adjustment, but I think it's an adjustment that if you're truly a top player that you can make.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not like real basketball. It is a video game. I don't think it's too hard to adjust. So you're going a center first. What are you putting around him?
It just depends. I don't know if I go a center first. There's so many different variables that play into it. See, it's so hard to spit it out because there's so many different things that play into it. Like it really just depends on who's in the pool.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If it's just a bunch of combine centers that put up great numbers, you're not fooling me. For me,
true. I'm
going after the player that I've seen do it the most. So if it's 75 random people, and then we got still Trills, we got Kenny got work out there, I'm gonna grab Kenny. You know what I'm saying? Just because I've seen Kenny do it on the big stage, and to me, there's a difference between doing it in the combine and doing it for $250,000. And that's where it comes down to me is I'm gonna go get that guy that I've seen perform.
Yeah, fair call. And like you say, I just asked you the question out of, we haven't seen the draft pool, so I don't know. Right. I just thought it was interesting to see where you're thinking.
For sure. Did you see the Forbes article?
Yeah, you were in it, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some thoughts, but I'll just go in your DMs and tell you those thoughts. I don't want to put them on blast, but go ahead. I did read the article, and yeah.
No, I it's not that I thought there was anything wrong with the article. I just, to me, just some of the things he said, kind of didn't really make sense. Obviously, like I said in my Periscope, he's a reputable guy. He writes for Forbes. You know what I'm saying? Forbes is, everybody knows what Forbes is. You know what I mean? Forbes it's a name. Everybody knows what that is. So for him to be writing at that level, he's obviously a credible writer. But, it just, to me, just the things he said, like, I'm not in a party, talking. I mean, I'm not in the game chat talking to my team.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not going to, if there's nobody in the game chat, I'm obviously going to talk to my friends. You know what I'm saying? I think the thing that got me through the combine was, being able to talk to my friends and being able to, have a relaxed environment where I didn't have to stress out that my point guard's gone straight to the paint 5 straight times and went up on 5 people. You know what I'm saying? I think just having that as an outlet was good. But I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And, I still think it was cool that I was in an article. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. I got to tell my parents I was in a Forbes article. And I mean, granted, when I first opened it, I thought I was going to have a good report, and, I was excited. So just, I think that's the only thing that hurt me was that, like, here I am, I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to open this Forbes article. I'm going to have something that I can brag about. And the first thing you read is, Statmonger. So it's just like, that just in a sense hurt a little bit.
But it's all relative, right? So why are you playing the combine, to get drafted? So how do you stand out? You be a good teammate and you get stats.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They said themselves that, your win-loss doesn't even really matter. So it's like,
so how else do you stand out? You get
Yeah,
stats,
you know what I
right?
mean? How do you show? Here's the thing. It, I can pull up any of my games and stream them and show people. I didn't just sit in the paint. I didn't just, I didn't clog. I didn't demand the ball. And he does credit me for that. He says I'm excellent at finding, space on the court. And that's the truth. I for somebody that's never played slasher in my life, I told my friends, I've never had a contact dunk in 2K until the combine. Never.
Right.
So for somebody that never played slasher to just be able to find the angles and find ways to score, being 6'6", and just blowing everybody out of the water in points per game and just overall efficiency. The 2K lab score wasn't just based on who put up the most points. It was everything combined. Points was one of the lowest rated stat columns. So when it just came to overall effectiveness, I was the most efficient. And that's it. I definitely listen. I know that he did a thing where he thought he was saying like it's all good when people write good about you, and then it's not good when people write bad. Of course, I'm not going to be happy when you write something bad about me. But at the end of the day, I'm still, I watched his thing with Famous the other day. I don't have any hard feelings towards him. You know what I'm saying? It's his opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I can't. The only thing I can do is hopefully get the opportunity that I am drafted. To just prove that wrong and have that be one of the many doubters. You know what I'm saying? Because and not everybody's going to believe in what you're doing. So
Yeah, no doubt. It's very easy for me to agree with you. Obviously, like you're my guy, but I do agree with you in a lot of this, and a lot of the stuff he says, it's just not quite right. The combine was so painful to play that I don't blame you 1 second for going out of the game chat. It's just
and that's the thing.
painful.
You got guys. And I mean, one of the things he had put on there was that he put my conversation with a center that I had, and the conversation was like, I asked my center if he was going to ever set the point guard a screen. Now, mind you, I'm not even playing point guard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking for the point guard. This center
Yeah,
had been standing in the paint the entire game. So I'm asking him if he's going to go set a screen, and then, he hit me with the whole Periscope thing. I guess he knew who I was. So he said like I was like gunning, and I mean, to me, if I have 26 points shooting 80% in the third quarter, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm
yeah.
going off like that,
Keep going there.
you know what I'm saying? Get me the ball. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? If
stand back.
that's what I'm saying. If when I was running point guard, I would have loved to just have one guy on my team that would go off and get me the assist numbers that I wanted. And that's what I made sure I did when I played shooting guard, that if a point guard gave me the ball, he was going to get the assist for it. He was going to get his numbers. And that's the thing is, it's not that I chase stats. I mean, once I averaged 40, of course I wanted to maintain that. I thought that was cool. You know what I'm saying? That's something I can always say. I was one of the only people to average 40 at 72,000. I was probably one of 5 people to average 40 points a game the entire thing. But I just wanted to win, and that was with the level of teammates that we were playing with. When I was putting up 40, it's not like I was putting up 40 and we were losing. I was putting up 40 and we're winning by 20.
Yeah, so I wonder how
So
many games he actually watched of you.
there's I think there's
One.
only what he had to have only watched one game.
One game, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and he saw whatever he saw, and like he said, my people in my party were talking about their stats too, and one thing you got to understand is at the end of the day, if I'm streaming, in a sense, I have to make it entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
I'm saying my point guard's trash and doing that, that's for the stream. It's the same way I hop on Periscope like I did the one you're talking about, and was saying like, man, how tough the combine is. At the end of the day, you got to be entertaining if you're going to do these types of things and you're going to have an audience. So that's part of it. If I'm streaming and I'm sitting in silence and doing this, nobody's going to watch me. You know what I mean? So
No doubt. And the same for Brian. He writes articles to get clicks for Forbes. Like
right,
he has to write these things.
right, of course.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's very interesting. At least you're in Forbes and you can tell people about it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, how many people can say that they're in a Forbes article for a video game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very few.
So,
So what else is happening?
still thought it was cool.
Yeah, I don't have much else written down.
There's nothing much else happening. Everybody at this point's just
Hanging
playing the
out.
waiting game,
Yeah,
and it's a stressful waiting game.
dude.
Everybody, I check my Gmail every day, multiple times a day.
Nice.
It's just trying to see, hopefully I'm one of those 250 that get that email.
Are you pretty confident in your interview skills?
Oh, the interview wise, I have no concern
Yeah.
with interview. I feel like if I make the 250 with my stats and the resume I wrote and the interview, I think I'll be good. The thing I'm afraid of is making the 250.
Right.
Which I mean, with the numbers that I have at both positions, I don't think there's any way I don't make it. But at the same time, we don't know anything. They didn't really tell us anything. Everything's up for speculation.
Yeah.
Like there's no recipe that we get to follow, no formula that says, hey, if you do this, that, and that, you're going to get drafted. We're
Yeah.
just kind of doing what we think is going to get us drafted.
Yeah. Yeah. How old are you, Joe?
20.
20 years old. Man, if you do get drafted and live in one of those gaming houses, that is going to be the time of your life. That is going to be.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing too is, I mean, I was looking at Famous he did a Periscope where he was showing the computer he has now. I don't know if you saw it. It moves with his eyes.
With his eyes, yeah.
And I mean, just the possibilities for the future are endless. If I do get picked, I'm definitely going to start a YouTube. I've been editing videos for a long time. I don't do 2K stuff. So I already know how to edit. I'll definitely be doing YouTube and I'll definitely be getting my Twitch where I want it to be. I have a great following on Twitch. I'm an affiliate. I could have been partnered if I would have known the rules. But I'll buy a good laptop and Gidnell got it. I've been streaming off my Xbox, pulling 100 plus viewers, and not a lot of people can say that. The guys that are getting all the views have the nice face cam and the music in the background and all the cool stuff.
The green screen and all that.
Yeah, I'm out here streaming off my Xbox. So
the ghetto stream.
If I do get picked, everything will be on the rise. So it's exciting. Just to hope. And I mean, if it doesn't happen at the end of the day, it doesn't happen. But this waiting game is definitely killer, especially since they're not telling us, when we're gonna know. Like at least if they said, hey, March 3rd, we're gonna let you know who made the draft pool. At least if we knew a date, we could have some. We could just be like, yeah. We're ready for that day, but they haven't told us anything. So we're just sitting on edge. When is that day going to be that we know?
What do you think Twitter's going to be like when when all this goes down?
Twitter's going to go back to the old Twitter. And I don't know if you're familiar with the old Twitter. I don't know how long you've been.
No. Australians don't use Twitter much. I'm only new to Twitter. We use Facebook down here.
The old Twitter is the savage Twitter, people cussing each other out, talking crazy, unmarketable, as we say, the whole marketability thing. And I mean, if people don't get drafted, I know, especially for me, this is probably the only year I'll be pursuing this. If I don't get picked, I don't think I can put, the time in that I did this year, and in another year. This is like
because of basketball.
Yeah. If I'm not picked, I think I'm just gonna 1,000% focus on basketball. And not that I'm not focusing on basketball now, but the way I'd be doing it is, if I got picked, as soon as the season's over for the 2K league, I'm going right to school and getting right into basketball. And if I'm not picked, it's at the end of the day, I'm gonna be sad. It's gonna suck, but at the end of the day, I'm still playing college basketball. You know what I'm saying? And that just means that that's what I need to put all my focus on. I can't keep juggling my effort levels, and I'm giving 75% to this today and 25% to this today. I'm ready to start giving 100% to whatever I'm doing in life. So that's why I'm ready to see what they end up doing with this league, and if I end up making the pool or not.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you'll be right, mate. Good luck. we'll leave it there. So, where does everyone find you on social media, and what's your Twitch stream?
You can find me on Twitter. It's white X chocolate. The one it's a one instead of a I. Yeah, that was a stutter. Hopefully we can cut that out.
Nope, that's staying
in. But I mean, hopefully you already follow me at this point or know who I am. So, but if you don't know who I am, it's white chocolate with an X in between and a one instead of an I. On Twitch, it's white chocolate 2K, just spelled regularly. And yeah, I mean, I stream almost every day. I haven't been streaming since the combine ended because there's nobody's really playing. But when we're active, I stream every day, and I post some good tweets. I mean,
yeah, definitely a
sure
good
to hit
follow.
that follow button. The periscopes are real.
Yeah.
If you haven't experienced the periscope, you're due. So definitely go ahead and hit that follow button.
Yeah, worth it just for the periscopes.
Exactly. They call me Mr. Periscope. So
I'm chalk enough.
Yeah, exactly. Famous son. So,
all right. Thanks for coming on for the chat.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. It's always fun to sit down.
Follow at the Green Release on Twitter for all 2K updates.